Margaret and I, and some of us in River of Life, we honestly feel that as immigrants, that we lack, honestly, we feel like we lack the capacity, we lack the perspective, and we lack the sensitivity to be able to properly process and manage the moment. And because of that, we are much more open to the voices of our African American, brothers and sisters also. Last Wednesday, not yesterday, last Wednesday, we had a Zoom meeting, and in that Zoom meeting, we had 3 doctors who are, part of River of Life associated, who are part of River of Life. We had them on so that we could discuss the issue of COVID-19, what are the facts, what are the myths, what are the do's and don'ts as things are being opened back up. And many things were said, but Dr. Timothy Adegoke there, he said one thing that I cannot forget. And he was using a story that is very familiar to every one of us. And he mentioned the story of an elephant who, as a baby, is tied down to a peg with a small rope, is tied down to a peg. And as the baby grows, now he's this huge adult, he's massive, and all he needs to do is to just pull his foot, and that whole peg will come yanking out of that ground. But that adult elephant does not do what is so obvious to everybody around him or her. Why? Dr. Timothy said it is called learned helplessness. It is a learned helplessness. It is right from a young age, right from infancy. This elephant has been taught, programmed, that this rope can hold you down. And because of that, even though he's now an adult, it's a new day, it's a new season, but then even though he can break free easily, he does not do it because the mind is programmed differently. And I was ruminating about that with my wife here this morning. And I said, for those of us who came from Africa, we have not gone through what our African American brothers and sisters have gone through. For us, please permit the use of the language. For us, the leg was never tied to a peg. For us, we never experienced that limitation, that you can't do it, you can't be it. We did not experience that oppression. So when many of us came into this, country, we came in with guns blazing, and today, many of us in River of Life and immigrants, look, I am a Nigerian by birth, naturalized American today. You guys know it. The most educated people in America today are Nigerians, medical doctors, engineers, and all that. That is the mindset. That is how we were raised. So my wife and I, and some of us in River of Life also, we really truly believe we lack the perspective and the capacity to be able to connect with what our African American brothers and sisters are saying, many times. Now, the question that I ask myself then is, what can we do? What can we do? And I'm speaking to everyone now. I am looking, I see there is the panel view. There's also the participants view or the attendees. And I'm speaking to my African-American brothers and sisters, and I'm also, I see Rosa, I see Bruce, I see, Josiah, and I see others there too, and I see Mary Jane, and Mark was sharing that powerful experience that he had as a 7-year-old, yesterday. But then, what can we do? The question is, moving forward, there were many things that we discussed yesterday: being the light of the world, being the salt of the earth, raising a standard, being the city on a hill. So how do you break that down practically? Here's what I am thinking here. Number one is this: we need, beginning here, we need to stop Black on Black racism. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds weird, but for those of us who are African Americans, naturalized immigrants and all that, one of the first things that I want to counsel my brothers and sisters on this call right now is, number one, we need to stop Black on Black racism. Let me ask you this. What will you do, or what will I do, if I see an African-American man riding through my neighborhood on a bike with a backpack? What goes through my head? What goes through my thinking? What are my attitudes? We need to begin here. We need to stop the Black on Black racism, the Black on Black, discrimination. Next, we need to stop the nicknames. This might blow y'all's mind, but coming into this country, one of the things that I discovered, and some of you might not know this, in the immigrant community, this might blow your mind. Even African immigrants have nicknames for African American male and African American females. We need to stop the use of those nicknames. A couple of months ago, I literally, because my family has a family WhatsApp group, and I remember texting them. I believe it was Brother Becker who first brought it to my attention. It was after church, and I see you on this call. It was after church, one Sunday, and Brother Becker brought to my attention. He said, "Do you realize that the use of phrases like this and this to describe African American males and females is racist?" I had never thought about that, but he brought that to my attention, for the first time. And I remember posting it on the family WhatsApp group and saying, "Children, what do you guys think about, the use of this phrase?" And I was challenging and encouraging them that we should not use those phrases again. Now, one or two of them said, "Dad, I don't even use it again because I came to realize it is a, racial slur." And I mean, these are some of the things that we can do. Stop the use of nicknames. The next thing is, as Blacks and African Americans, let's not feed into the narrative, the narrative, because many of us do. We have come to believe that if somebody's African American, you need to watch your back. You need to watch your purse. You need to watch your wallet. You need to watch, what you're doing. You're paying extra attention, and we need to get rid of, some of these stereotypes too. I will also tell you that today there was a rally in Katy. Guys, I went to that rally. I went to that rally today. Why? Because I felt like, okay, if this is number one, I wanted to see what was going to be happening. Number two, I wanted to be able to stand in solidarity to say, listen, Black lives matter. Now, I didn't know what was going to happen, when I got there. I didn't know if maybe there was going to be mayhem. I didn't know all that, but I just felt that I needed to be there. Then I also felt that I needed to be there as a watchman, as a spiritual watchman over this city, that I needed to be there. I didn't feel like, if others feel like there might be darkness, that pulling out the light, was the best way to go. And I went there, walked the grounds, and just prayed over the place. But folks, having a mask on in over 90 degrees heat, it was a lot. And I wasn't able, I could only stay, for a little bit, but I was able to be a part of that. Now, how do we also look at cops? How do we address cops? Again, in this area, guys, and I'm just being honest with all of us here, my wife and I, and especially myself, I've been pulled over by cops. Guys, please hear me here. I've been pulled over by cops. I've been pulled over by white cops, by African-American cops, and I'm just being honestly honest. I have been treated, if a white cop pulls me over, I have come to know I may not get a ticket. If I get pulled over by a Black cop, the chances that I'm going to get a ticket are super high. That is my experience. It is not the experience of many, but I'm just, wanting us to have that, perspective there. We had that pastors' meeting yesterday, and I am rounding up now. And I don't know, we had that pastors' meeting yesterday, and with the mayor of the city of Katy. Bill Hastings is a very personal friend of my wife and I. Bill Hastings is a very personal friend of my wife and I. And when Bill Hastings, the mayor of Katy, took the microphone yesterday, one of the things that Bill Hastings did was he reminded all of us that before he became the mayor of the city of Katy, he was the police chief in the city of Katy for 15 years. And he also told us, he said, when he watched that video, he said, something just rose up on the inside of him as an ex-police chief, as a mayor, and as a law enforcement person, that what are you guys doing? And he went into many other things. But I am ending on that note to let all of us know that I honestly have not spoken to one person who feels like what happened to George Floyd was okay. Not one person. I've not spoken to one person. Everybody is, whether Black, white, everybody is in agreement over that. I have heard the police chief of Houston also come out and make some very, very strong statements about that. I have seen policemen marching with the protesters. I have seen policemen taking a knee, holding hands, engaging. And I'm saying all that just to let us know that it's not all bad news. And we're talking about, cops on Black crimes, and just wanting to also bring, some perspective in there. The Lord will help us. The Lord will give us wisdom as we be light, as we be salt, as we be the city on a hill, and as we raise a standard for the world to see. And I thank God for Randy, Jennifer, and River of Life. I truly believe that our two congregations, and I was thinking about this, Randy, as I round up, I am happy we didn't change names. I'm happy we didn't change the name from Mosaic House of Prayer, River of Life, to Mosaic River Life, because now we can make a statement. We're still two congregations, yet we're getting along. Yet, I mean, we didn't need to change name to get along. We didn't need to merge everything and become this one thing. We are separate yet united, and it makes such a statement to the community. I believe that God has really positioned us as two kingdom congregations to make a statement in a way and manner that very few can.
I just want to bring two things to and number one is this. This is a spiritual warfare. And we need to, as believer, engage. Knowing that Jesus Christ, the captain of the Lord's host, is ahead of us. And this battle is already won. And we, as the church, we are here to bring the reality of the finished work to place through our, prayers. Not only that, but by our own action as individuals. So I just want to say, because I have been thinking and trying to process that what would make a man to kneel on someone and the person is crying and people are telling you this man is dying. And what is it? It's a spirit. There's a spirit behind it. The Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We are fighting principalities, powers, and so we need to turn the battle to the gates of the enemy. Amen. And the second thing that I want to say is just to also reiterate what Bronson said. I woke up early this morning and my cry was, God, give me your heart. I want your heart. We need the heart of the Father, the heart of love, the heart that is able to sympathize, to empathize, the heart that is able to be touched by the feeling of other people. A heart that breaks, for others. And my cry has been, Lord, give me your heart. Amen. And the second cry is like, God, give me your eyes to see the way you see. Amen. Because we are, we look through the eyes of the flesh of the world, but we need the eyes of God at this time. And I will read this scripture in Galatians 5, because like Bronson said, Jesus is touched by the feelings of our infirmity. He is touched. So, I was telling Faluade, I said, if I am not touched by the feeling of your infirmity, it's like, this Christian thing is all a sham. It says in Galatians 5 from verse 13, it says, for you, brethren, have been called to liberty. Only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. Verse 14, it says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Amen. So, and as we sat here, the Lord just dropped in my spirit. I whispered it to Faluade. I said that the Lord said to me, he said that the unity that the nation needs lies with the church. When the church comes into unity, it will spill to the nation. Unity is not praying. It's not just about praying. It's not about talking. They're truly coming into unity. That's why Jesus prayed. He prayed for the church. He prayed for his bride. He didn't pray for the world. He said, make them one as you and I are one. And the healing we need in the nation starts from the church. It starts from the church. The church, we are the key. And may the Lord help us that we respond to the Spirit of God in days and times like this.
Amen.
I just want to say one thing before Randy goes on. And Margaret, when you were speaking, just last night, I couldn't stop crying as I went to bed, just over this whole thing is so, it's horrible. But it's so much bigger than Floyd. It's so much bigger than that. And I just heard the Lord say to me, we as the church have got to lament. And then as I heard that word, then I heard him say, and then repent. And then ask God for the grace to love, because that's what it's really about.